On today's Minute of the Apes, we sit around and watch Sean as he plays with his dog here at Zeus Comics and tries to get her to bark, but she doesn't do anything we want.
Yeah, that was about it.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. We are the keepers of the divine bound. It is our only reason for survival. We are determined to know what the apes want. War or peace.
The only good human is a dead human!
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd, that's Richard, that's Sean, and
It's
quietly
Wednesday.
on the ground is Nala. Hi,
Walking
Nala.
around- Oh, she's over by your feet.
You can
now.
follow on Instagram at
Hey.
Holla, it's Nala
Holla
one.
_it's Nala one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm scratching the booty, and she
There you
is
go. She
completely
likes that.
loving me right now.
That's it. You got a friend now.
So Sean and JJ recently adopted Nala, and she is a sweetheart. She's 10,
The pug.
a little pug, and I'm sure we'll post some photos of her.
She does a lot of modeling for Chewies.
She does.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
Okay, we've
right.
all gone on about the dog,
And she's back on her bed.
and no one
She's
can
done.
see what we're talking about. So until we see the pictures, we promise you, and
As I'm
Sean also
hitting
kicks
the
table.
again. I need to lower my seat. Hang on.
Nala.
We
You wanna
promise
go?
everyone she's the best cues you can get.
Yes.
Nala.
Okay. It's
She's
She's
just
looking
looking
at me
at
like-
you. Uh-huh.
Oh,
You
at
got
least it
something for
won't be.
me.
I told Sean that I was listening to the episodes that I posted for today, and suddenly I heard my
You
big
heard your
dog
dogs
shaking
jingle
his collar,
jangle?
and I heard the jingle, and I was like, what is that sound? Oh, hi, Jake. Anyway, it's minute 48. Sean, tell us what's going on with minute 48.
You can pick Nala.
I was gonna
Oh, you're
try.
getting trapped
I
by
didn't
a
like-
cable there? By a power
Destroy
cable?
the microphone trying to pick
Okay.
Nala up. Come here, sweetheart.
All right, so we're going to start minute 48 with Hasline saying, by destroying the world, and ends with the president saying, do you believe by present day action, ...
All right, let's take a listen to minute 48 of Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
By destroying the world? Are you quite sure that what they saw destroyed was the world?
But aren't you?
I consider it dispassionately as a possibility, not hysterically as a fact.
Mr. President, we have their own testimony that they provoked the war.
And they seem to have provoked you pretty thoroughly into the bargain. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong, Hasline, but I am saying that before I have them shot against the wall, I want convincing that the handwriting on the wall is calculably true. Now, convince me.
By their own testimony, we know that apes one day will acquire the power of intelligent speech. By Zira's testimony, we know that she's pregnant with child. By my own testimony, we know that it's genetically possible for this child, provided, of course, always that we permit its birth, to bear or beget a talking ape by a dumb one, in a present-day jungle or a present-day zoo.
But do you truly believe that by deliberate present-day action...
All right, as of minute 48, we've got a planet's worth of humans plus 2 living apes, 1 who's pregnant, and 1 dead ape, and 1 Nala on the microphone.
So if you hear odd noises, that's not Richard over there getting excited about this minute. He's making Nala a guest on the show this week.
Yes.
Speak.
She'll comment if she wants
I'll
to.
speak. Where's Sean? Where's JJ?
Yeah, I'm over here. Hi.
Sorry, I missed that Nala down.
Okay.
Okay, so let's jump in with Hasline.
Hasline is assuming that the world is destroyed just because a drunk ape told him
Well,
that.
I thought that too. Is it not odd that he is so scientific about everything? So he can have the Hasline curve, he can do his infinite, regression theory or whatever this crap is. Yet he takes something to the president of the United States based on a drunk ape who's pregnant and gets drunk off of 1 sip of wine.
Yeah, who's, been on Earth all of
Is that a very scientific way to approach
Yeah.
anything?
I mean, the president asked the legitimate question.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure what they saw destroyed was the world?
Bing.
No, I'm not, sir.
Because
But at that point, he should have said, no, I'm not. But given all I have is the testimony, you wanted to accept before that they came from this time and all these things. What do I have to go on except what they've told me? And science tells me that if I take enough information, I can form an opinion, and then I must pursue that. And I'm pursuing it with you. He should have said something.
He's got to do the Batman Dawn of Justice. If there's even a 1% chance that that's true, we've got to take it as an absolute certainty.
So there's a moment where the president, at the beginning of the minute, where he's kind of explaining to Hasline his position, and he talked about the voters at first.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the one that really kind of drove it home was he said, I consider it dispassionately as a possibility. Yep. Not hysterically as a fact. And he's basically saying Hasline is hysterical at this point.
Yeah, you need some
He's being
for
as
that
calm
burn?
as he can.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very much the president is like, he basically
He's
told
like,
the audience
quit clutching the
what
pearls.
side he's on.
Okay.
Even though the previous minute we're like, okay, he's saying it's about the voters. He's saying it's, you need more evidence, whatever. At the beginning of this minute, he says, not hysterically as a fact. I really think he's saying, dude, pull it back.
Yeah.
Given what I suggested yesterday about this being a turning point for this film, now it's a turning point plus the most powerful person in the room not believing you, and you feeling as though you have a theory or something to prove because you must do it. Now he's unhinged. So now you've taken a character where he believes something passionately enough to be here, and now he doesn't have support for it.
Man, there's some stuff in the next minute that I can't talk about yet. But
they're trying to make him the Cassandra character where he's telling everybody what the danger is, but nobody's believing him.
That's exactly right. And no one at this point is going to say, oh, hang on.
You might get a potential spam call.
This is what we need to talk about in between. Potential spam sucks. When you're trying to do Minute of the Apes and you look over and everything's buzzing because of it. But I think at this moment, this defines Hasline more than anything. Because
fair.
Why does he need to have buy-in for his scientific theory? Why does he have to have that? Why isn't he proving it? And when he doesn't have it, is this the moment that within this film we're going to go, that's where it happened? Simply because you have to start thinking, what is this doing to Hasline? What is he going to do at the end? Is this the moment where it turned the page for him?
There's something in the script for tomorrow.
Okay. I can't wait to hear what you say. Okay, that's it for today. I'm kidding.
Wait a minute.
Say what?
But I really like the president coming back and saying, I'm saying, he's being a politician. And I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm leaving myself open to being convinced.
But before I have them shot against a wall.
Yeah.
I want convincing writing on the wall is calculably true. Now convince me.
Yeah. Give me.
But he still just called him hysterical 2 seconds earlier. So I already think he's on the side of doubt. I mean,
absolutely.
If I said to you, hey, you're being hysterical right now, but if you believe this, then just try and convince me. I'm already kind of prejudiced against whatever you're going to tell me. I'm not following what you're thinking or you're going with it.
So what is it that Hasline hopes? Does Hasline hope that he will take him out and shoot him right now? Just off of this conjecture of this is what they told me? Because he's not asked for anything. The president's almost just then saying, you're leading me to these thoughts. Is that what it is?
There's something in Hasline's next statement that I wish Dane had kind of pulled out a little bit more to make it a little more actual. Mm-hmm. He says, by their own testimony, we know the apes will acquire the power of intelligent speech and become the master race on Earth.
Real quick, I want to say, by their own testimony, how about by their own actions? You see them walking and talking. There's no testimony needed that apes can talk in the future. You are seeing it occur in the present.
I thought that too. I thought that Hasline could have made a really good point to the president where you're going along and you can say, until yesterday, you wouldn't have believed, or whenever they
apes
landed,
could talk
and this kind of thing.
That's actually a more kind of passionate plea.
Yeah.
But he says they will acquire intelligent speech and become the master race on Earth. That this is all conjecture. I mean, Hasline is kind of imagining this reality that they live in, where they're
on how
the
everything
masters
got
on
there.
Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't know that the apes didn't come because of surgeries that we did to improve them, or maybe they're a mutant or an inbred race somehow between humans and apes. He doesn't know anything about where they came
small nation.
from.
He doesn't know where what's happening on the rest of the Earth.
Yeah.
Or who they went to war with.
Or did they come from outer space somehow? They're lying to us.
In the way the president was kind of so matter of fact, it would have been nice for Hasline to kind of piece together a reality that makes sense based upon the knowledge we have, as opposed to just kind of like throwing some things out there and we're supposed to assume that this is what happens.
I thought that the president did a lot of good pushback on what is this you expect? What is it you want? This thing's, but it's almost like Hasline cannot take anyone challenging because he does not modulate his conversation.
Oh yeah,
to what it should be. Okay, how do I change this opinion so I get what I want? He does a lot of simple. Here it is, the straight line of what I see.
Half of his argument, and to jump just a couple of seconds ahead, is when he goes, by my own testimony, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, you're saying by my own facts that I presented to this, you must accept that it's true. That's like, me testifying about something and saying because Sean said it, it has to be true. No,
is that not true?
No. Well, I mean. It should be.
We're missing the conversation that Hasline has with somebody besides the president, where he imagines this the reality. We've seen the first 2 films. So as an audience, we're following what he's going. Yeah. But if we were watching it for the first time, we would be like, where is he taking this? I need some visuals to kind of put myself there.
Yeah, because
they become the master race. I mean, we know from the first 2 films that it was the destruction of our race that kind of propelled them forward. They didn't become the master race.
And they didn't create it by killing us, which is almost what Hasline's immediately implying is that their ascension immediately means that they did something
If you look at it from Hasline's point of view, he has not seen the first 2 movies. He has only seen Escape from the Planet of the Apes. So he doesn't know about future blowing up and
outside of what Zero's told him.
So for him, he is making big leaps of logic that he should not be making, having no information about the previous movie.
Correct. Go ahead.
But at the same time, the president, in his own way, despite the fact that I like him, is being a little bit blasé with a potential threat.
He is.
If your president if your scientific advisor is telling me, listen, and he didn't do a good job of this, until a few days ago we didn't have talking apes. They somehow got into a spaceship that we sent off somewhere. So they come from somewhere to come back to us. And now, it could be a potential threat. And here are the reasons. So the president is being a little cutesy and a little almost too safe. A little. But I like him. But at the same time, you would think he would say, listen, we don't know that this will occur. And I love the line about at 3950, we'll all be dead, essentially.
Yeah.
However, Mr. Hasline, what I'm going to do, I'll put some people watching him. Something like that at that point.
There is no reason to suppose that when the spaceship left, it went to the future and didn't go to the past, and that we're now the dominant species over apes that used to be able to talk. They have some random, time odometer that gave them some dates, but it's equally possible that when Taylor went to the future, he actually went to the past. So there's like this lack of an argument that Hasline needs to kind of solidify this outside of the evidence of one talking ape.
Why does it have to be that they went to an Earth in an alternate timeline? Why couldn't they have just gone to another planet that had talking apes? Correct. And those apes got our spaceship and came back, and now they're trying to sabotage the United States and all that, and let's just kill them all.
I need Hasline to give me kind of this as rationale, or
I agree.
The characters have given a little bit more early on to make him kind of go to that direction, because the president is being a pragmatist. He sees what's happening. He's like, okay, cool, but you need to tell me how this is going to work.
But there's also some truth that a politician ignores the more prudent path simply because the public likes this group, this pair of apes. This whole idea that everybody likes them.
The president actually gets a popular.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, it may be a danger, but they love them, and right now they love them. They love me. That's also very pragmatic in that sense.
The FBI would keep files on popular people, Muhammad Ali and the Beatles,
John Lennon,
all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the president may actually like the apes as well. I mean, he hasn't said anything that he says he doesn't like them. I mean, he might enjoy what he's.
No, I was actually going to that the president is both playing the politician element as well as the practical element.
He's open to being convinced, to making sure that they do die if necessary. He said, "Convince me." He's saying, "I've not made up my mind yet, but I'm not going to jump to a conclusion."
How gross is that?
But who is Hasline at this particular point?
He's the guy that came up with the Hasline.
But the president can shut him down right now.
Absolutely, he can.
I'm sorry. There's a point right now where the president is like, okay, you know what? I'm going to minimize you.
Well,
especially if you're on Fox News or something like that, they just tweet right back at you.
He could have shut him down with that big candlestick that he picked up to light his cigarello with.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. The president completely lighting up a cigarette, and that's also like a ladyfinger type cigarette too. That's not like a real cigarette.
Like a cigarello or whatever it is, and then I swear it looks like a candlestick that he picks up with the lighter on the end of it.
All I could think of, and I won't ruin this for Richard, but with Once Upon a Time in America just coming out.
In Hollywood, you mean?
Out in
Wrong
Hollywood.
movie.
Sergio Leone. Now I'm going to go turn.